going on, everybody in the world of YouTube? I'm Tunde. I'm here with Omar, and welcome to our show where we explore the fight and fighters. If you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, first I'm going to ask you, are you crazy? I'm going to give you time to go ahead and do that now. Hit the notification button to stay up to date with all of our newest content, because we don't just explore or talk about the fighters in the ring or cage, but we get into the emotional, spiritual, and psychological fights we all encounter in our lives.
We interview fighters with the hope to be inspired by their journey and motivate us to double down on our own commitments to better our lives. If you have a fight in you or just love a good story, then welcome to the show. Today, we have the one and only Nasty Native fighting out of Arkansas, who made his debut in the West Coast Streetbeefs branch. Welcome to the show, Nasty Native. How are you doing today?
What's good, everybody? How y'all doing, man? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you for making the time to be here and speaking with us. We're excited to dig deep a little bit about who you are, where you come from, and where you're going. So let's start with this question. How did you come up with your name? What is the story behind Nasty Native?
Man, so, let's see. The actual name was given to me by a broadcaster at one of my recent fights. He just kind of said it in the broadcast in the fight, man, and just started rolling with it. As far as the native part, man, I am Fort Sill Apache from Oklahoma. That's in my DNA. So I take really, really big pride in that. All my dad's side of the family, man, we're all tribal members. We do the whole powwows every year. So getting a chance to represent the natives, that's awesome to me. So I've been rolling with the dude for about a year and a half, and man, it's awesome, brother. The kind of feedback my tribe actually, gives me for it. So it's cool.
That's awesome. I was a little I was a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you, Nasty Native, when I was, preparing to ask you this question in preparation to hear your response, because I'm thinking like, man, I hope this brother's native. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I hope this brother's native, because not only is is it important to obviously respect indigenous people, right? But you come out with the headpiece. So if you're watching this and you have not yet seen Nasty Native fight, what are you waiting for? Like, go check that out. But as part of your you come out with the traditional headpiece, right? And so, yeah, man, I just glad to hear that you are of indigenous ancestry. And so talk to us, if I can ask a follow-up question, what is it like to be a part of that community? And if you can actually elaborate a little bit, you said that they're very supportive of your fighting career. What has that been like?
Man, so to break it down a little bit more, that headdress, that actually was handmade by my uncle. So I got a lot of hate because, we're actually not supposed to wear a headdress unless you're a chief. So this is where I get the support from my tribe. They know I'm just representing. I'm not out, disrespecting the tribe's name. I'm doing positive things, doing it. So that's where the support comes from them. They're all about it. My uncle handmade that thing for me, dude. So I'll have that thing to the day I die, So it's really just not only alone to have it made by a family member that's a high-end actual chief in my tribe. It's cool to be able to represent that. And dude, my tribe is they're ready to watch me do it again. They want to see my next headdress, what I'm going to come out in my face paint. They're just ready to see it.
And so, can I ask a question? Because my favorite part of the street beef fights are the intros, hands down. And I believe wholeheartedly that there is an art of the intro. Some people come through and they're unassuming. I don't know if you've seen Gumby, but Gumby is like, God, praise God, I'm here. Let's get to it, right? Then you got people like Buddy V, and Buddy V is like the native Aztec warrior, right? And so there's a lot of different versions, and so I want to know, like, what's the history or what's the story? Because you could have just came through like, yeah, I'm Nasty Native, let's fight. Like, why was it important for you to wear the headdress and wear the paints and stuff?
Man, for one, I got to be noticed. I like to fight. I like to show up, and if I'm going to make a statement, why not make a statement representing what's in my blood? Is the way I look at it. And like for instance, Fort Sill Apaches, they're the warriors of the Indians. We go to war, we show up for war. Face paint, all that. So to come to a fight, hey, it's all on the line, man. So I got to show up war ready. Is the way that's how we look at it for real.
And so is there an intimidation tactic that goes along with it? Because a lot of people say you can tell if you're going to win a fight before you even get into the fight. And so I get the representing, like when you're actually in the ring before the ref says go. Is there a supplemental tactic? Are you staring somebody in the eye? Like what's going through your mind in that moment?
Man, I clear everything out. I don't necessarily like to start. I'm not a trash talker. I'm really not unless I'm in the cage, ring playing around. I just get in the zone. I stare down the tunnel. I get tunnel vision on my guy, and I may be looking at him. I may not. I don't even know. I'm just focusing in that area, But yeah, that's kind of how I cope with it. I try to close off everything around me. It's like another world inside a world, like in a cage. Everything just zips out.
And then, before you go, Omar, I do apologize. But so when did you start fighting? How long have you been fighting? And I don't mean professionally. Like maybe as a kid you were just knuckling up with people, and then it translated into this. Like,
man, back in 08, I believe it was the first time I saw Kimbo Slice. And back here in Arkansas, man, I'm from Hot Springs, 501. We used to go to the skating rink every Friday. We used to go to the mall every Friday. One of the things to do at the mall, was to come watch me scrap somebody, because that's what we did. Like, and it wasn't no violent. It wasn't like, I want to beat you up. Like, we would have boxing gloves, and hey, you want to box? Hey, you want to go put on a show? And everyone would just have fun that way, dude. And it was nothing serious, Like in high school and stuff, we would box in the locker rooms. I didn't even. It got to around college. I was like 18, I believe. I was doing some boxing at the Arkansas Central Baptist, and I just started going to a boxing gym, man, and started picking it up over time. Never was consistent with it until the past 2 years, though. Is when I really started actually picking up, committing to training.
It's interesting that you mentioned Kimbo, and now you are fighting in Street Beefs, right? Kimbo is a legendary backyard street fighter, and so most people, like if you were to ask me, how did I get into combat sports? I would tell you like Julio Cesar Chavez growing up, watching him fight with my pops and uncles, huddled around the television. But for you, one of the people that inspired you to get into fight was Kimbo. Talk to me about what type of impact or what type of influence did Kimbo have on you specifically?
Man, when I look back at it now, it's crazy. I watch Kimbo Slice videos all the time. He really set an era for a lot of people, in my eyes. So many people were fighting, doing their own thing, didn't actually think they could go far with it. Kimbo Slice proved, hey, look, keep grinding no matter where you're at, keep pushing no matter what you're doing, no matter if you're in a cage, ring, or the backyard. Look at Reckless Rico and Ninon Warrior, dude. They've been putting in work, and it just goes to show you, backyard or not, like, and Kimbo Slice set a lot of people that way. And, it's motivational to see it running his bloodline. His son fights Bellator now. It's awesome to see, for real. But yeah, Kimbo, man, he and we can get to this another day. I was locked up when Kimbo died, dude. I cried. He set a milestone in me, dude, when I was younger. Saved me from like just getting in trouble. I like fighting Fridays, and I wouldn't get in trouble that way. And so I was sad when Kimbo died, man. I really was.
And so you mentioned being locked up. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, for sure, dude. Just so people know, man, that, people actually looked me up and said, hey, man, I didn't know this about you. Well, yeah, dude, actually, I got a 6-year sentence back in 2014. And unfortunately, I was a habitual offender at the time. Nothing serious, nothing drug related, nothing like that. I was a young partying teenager that didn't know no better besides to show off for people and be that one to be the party, And yeah, dude, I lost my youth, 18th, 21st, and that's when I got out of prison in 2016. No, let's see. The beginning of 2017, I got good behavior, all that. I did about 3 years total. And, I lost all that 3 years. Before then I was actually wrestling in college. That's where I met Louis Pena, my homie. Shout out to him. I was actually picking up boxing. I wish I could have had those 3 years back, but that's why I've been consistent with it now. I'm trying to make up, I go to a real gym. I train on my own. I just try to make up for the years lost. But yeah, dude, prison, it truly changed my life. And anyone watching this, dude, I swear to God, if you have the right mindset going in there, it'll change you. Like, I wouldn't even steal a piece of bubble gum nowadays to jeopardize. It sucks being told what to do and, how you can work out and how you can sleep, all that. It changes your mindset, and it put me on the right path for sure. I actually just got off parole last August. You know, I finished my 6 years, everything, like completely. So it's awesome.
That's great, man. So talk to us a little bit about, I want to back up a little bit, sticking to this, but you talked about wanting to be sort of the center of attention as a youngster, right? Kind of putting yourself out in those positions may have led you into making wrong decisions. What do you feel like, if there's, so Tunde and I work with young folks in particular, right? And we try to create spaces and opportunities for them to not make bad decisions, for them to actually be able to find their voice, find their leadership, and try to, if anything, right, be able to empower other folks, particularly in their community, to essentially transform their community, transform their experiences. Can you tell me, what do you feel was missing for you as a youngster that if you had that thing, maybe you would have not ended up in jail?
First and foremost, that's awesome. Y'all work with young kids, dude. That's a goal of mine. I'm actually trying to work towards. It's actually cool you're asking me this, dude. The biggest thing I think I'm missing out was having a commitment to stuff, having a commitment to sports. I played sports throughout my life and stuff like that, but I never was part of an actual team. I didn't have like an actual mentor, my father figure wasn't there when I was younger. So it was, when I looked up to people, for too long, they would be disappearing. So younger kids, man, I truly believe just a mentor, a right sport, a right teammates to lift them up. One of my biggest problems as a younger kid was being how can I word this? Just being pleased by the wrong crowd, being liked for the wrong reasons. You gotta realize who your true friends are. And that's something I've done, realize my teammates, the people I train with, people that make me get better at martial art that I truly like. Them are my guys, they have my back. They're there to make me better, like versus throwing parties when I was young, doing the wrong thing. Like, what were they doing for me besides wasting my money and time, So yeah, I truly think, man, being in the right sport, having some kind of team there, some kind of support in anything. It can be basketball, tennis, fighting, anything.
And I think you said something really powerful, and I say this all the time. Mentorship is something that like is hard to come by, but it's so essential to life, right? Like there's a lot of times when you talk to people who had a trajectory or an outcome where they ended up in jail or they made a really big mistake, they always say, "I wish somebody was there to tell me," like I wish somebody could have. And I really appreciate what you said, because who would we be if somebody intervened, early on in our lives? And so, it's really big. Mentorship, working in the team, like having some kind of a guidance in addition to that support is super important.
For sure, man. One more thing I want to touch on that, dude. Here in Arkansas, we got boot camp programs and stuff. I was part of those boot camp programs. Something I mentioned a minute ago, like what I want to do working with kids, I want to start a martial art program. Something not going to be beating each other up. Make them go out, do life activities. Make them go hold the door open for 100 people at this store and this store. Go pick up some trash. Then after that, let's go all train and let's all help each other get better at something. Like I'm trying to start a program where kids can go through something like that, finish that instead of wasting their time at these boot camps that just piss them off even more. I think that's why I think sports is such a good involvement, man. I think something like that would be so cool for real.
And I don't know if you know or seen his brother. I forget where he's from, but he runs a gym, a karate gym that is centered on developing young men, young Black men specifically. But I think he works with young men altogether in transitioning and mentoring them from boyhood to manhood through martial arts. And so there's these clips, and it's crazy because you're mentioning this, and then I'm like seeing all of the stuff that he's doing. I'm gonna get the name before we get off. Yeah, there are these clips where a boy is like punching a wooden board and it won't break, and then he starts crying. He's like, "Why are you crying?" And he's like, "I'm
that one." Is that the guy you're talking about?
Yes.
I didn't know that, but I've seen that video.
Yes, and so it's crazy because it's like in the realm of what you're talking about as well, like teaching and training principles and values through martial arts.
Yeah. It's life changing, dude. I really believe that, for real.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that, as both of y'all are sharing and talking, the thing that it reminds me of is that, in in our society, in our generation right now, in the United States of America, to a great extent, right? Culturally, we don't have a rites of passage for young men and young women. In other cultures, in indigenous cultures, and in other cultures, there are rites of passages, right? Like where I've heard of for a lot of indigenous communities, oftentimes is you have to go off into the mountains and fast, meditate, pray for a certain amount of time, maybe even hunt. Like there's different things that you have to do in order to earn your right to be called an adult, right? And here in communities like the ones that I grew up in, I'm sure that you all can relate to this. Oftentimes, young men's rites of passage in urban and inner city communities is oftentimes like, how violent are you? What are some of the violent acts that you're committing to prove that you actually a man? And so sometimes it's very backwards, and you have to really. It's interesting when you get to thinking, like, where do we get these ideas? Where did they come? Where do these ideas come from? Were these passed down from our family? Like, you start thinking about the movies we watch. You start thinking about things on television, etc., and how much violence is perpetuated in our society. It's like, man, it trips you out.
Oh, dude, you ain't lying.
No. But anyway, I wanted to really quick ask you, just transitioning from that really quick. So you talked about being locked up having an impact on you. Can you tell us what was the most important lesson that you learned while being incarcerated?
That one's a hard one, dude, because I learned a lot. Like,
Rusted, that was university for me.
Like, for instance, man, like I did 6 months in a county jail, and I remember getting sent off to a big place here in Arkansas. It was called the Cummins Unit. It's like the old here, dude. I remember just pulling up and like remembering movies like, holy crap, I'm here. Like, it was scary, dude, honestly. Like, big old dungeon castle looking walls, like, holy crap, Biggest life-changing thing for me though in there is just having literally every single thing you do every day being told to modify it differently. Like, 4 a.m. came around, you couldn't be underneath your blankets or sheets. You could brush your teeth certain times of the day. You'd be caught doing it too much, they think you're making a shanks. Like, crazy stuff, man. And just the pride too, some people look down on you. Like, you're just, and there you are a number. I hate to say it, you are to people that work there, but it's downgrading in a way, it makes you, if you have the right head on your shoulders, in my opinion, and you're not going to be repeating coming back, it changes you in a way that you just never want to do anything to come back, for real. Especially in my when I got out, man, I've always been on my own. I met the right girl. We got a son now, so it's like, why would I try to mess any of that up for that? You know what I mean? I completely, another thing taught me my true friends were all them guys that were like, praising me for the parties. Hey, no one wrote me. I got out, it was me, myself, and I. So that's another thing. That's why I think it's so important for young kids to meet good friends. Martial arts, especially, because who if you guys train, man, who do you don't consider in the gym your brother? Like, I call all them boys my brother. Like, it's just a different kind of bond, dude. And that's prison, dude. It's downgrading. And if you're prideful as a fighter, that really sucks. Like being, it sucks.
Yeah. So tell us this, what now, so we've heard a little bit about you as a youngster, you as a young adult going through the system, and now as a father. Congratulations, right? What is it that you fight for now? What do you fight for both in the ring and outside of the ring? What is your cause, your purpose, your drive?
I told myself when I got out and I took my first fight, I went alone. No coach, no nothing. I just wanted to see if I wanted to get punched in the face. Literally, that's what I did. Found a lot about myself that day. It's what I fight for now, for sure. When my son was born, I can't even explain the feeling. I wanted to go train that second. Like, I even did. I went that night. I went to go train. Of course, I fight for him now, man. But it's here where I'm from. It's about dignity. It's about self-pride. It's about where I come from. How I've always fought for anything I've ever been through, no matter not even just like actual physical fighting, but I've been through a lot of sticky situations, man. And like I said earlier, I've been all about me, myself, and I, and it's toughing me up, dude, in a way to I got to fight for myself. You know, I have a proving ground too. You know, I'm a couple years behind here in the fight game in Arkansas, and there's a lot of guys that, you know, are in the top tens, you know, that I got a proving ground to make up to. In Street Beefs, it's a great opportunity, dude. I love it. You know, to get to experience all that. That's what I'm striving for this year. I remember talking to you guys last time, but I'm focused on Street Beefs this year and training. You know, I got a couple things lined up, but if they don't work out, they don't work out the way I look at it. I'm just gonna keep training and getting better and keep on doing me. You know what I mean?
That's dope. That's dope. And so you kind of are touching on it, but what is your commitment going forward with Street Beefs? Like, is this it? You're just trying to, you know, stick to this amateur ring? Are you thinking of going to pro?
I definitely want to go pro, you know, when the time's right. It's not even in my next year plan. I truly want to get good and catch up and hit the pro circuit, surprising people. As far as Street Beefs, man, like, you know, I'm not the cocky type, but dude, I want to be one of their best champions. I want to represent Street Beefs in a way that, dude, no one else has. And, you know, I'm not saying no one else has done a good job, but I want to be the Street Beefs Heavyweight champion. I want to walk around prideful with that. I just want to represent and show people, hey, here's an opportunity for you guys. You know, like, I have a Facebook page here in Arkansas. It's like called Dirty South. You know, we do it's just a fight community for the region, you know, Arkansas. It's the Southern group. You know, I just posted today a picture, you know, guns down, gloves up. It wasn't exactly like Street Beefs worded it, but it was spray painted on a wall. You know, that's the way I look at it, dude. And I really want to just run with Street Beefs. I want to represent that. I want to show people, hey, put them down, bro. Y'all come settle that issue. You know what I mean? Come train. Y'all be good friends afterwards. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love your commitment and that you see the opportunity and the value in fighting for Street Beefs, right? I think that's what drew Daniel, Tunde, and I to this, you know, group, right, to this platform, Street Beefs, and why we wanted to create Hard in the Fight to really continue to elevate these stories like yours. And, you know, the thing that's interesting to me is that, like, there are other spaces where folks who are interested in combat sports can go and fight. You yourself have tested the waters in other promotions, right? You have fought for, I believe it's Peak Promotions, which is an amateur sort of MMA promotion. So that, I mean, you have AMI experience, and not a lot of folks who have fought for Street Beefs can say that. Tell me what's the difference between fighting in Street Beefs versus fighting in a promotion like Peak? And why Street Beefs? Like, why do you choose to fight here if you can fight for these other promotions?
You know, that's a great question, dude. Honestly, you know, I sit back and actually think this. You know, I've suffered a few things over the past couple of years. Like, I fought for this promotion here. It's called Tough Man. You know, Tough Man competitions are everywhere. We had them boxing one a couple of years ago. Took it literally just that day. Went up there, drove. Short story, man. I had a bad injury. You know, and that prolonged me for about a year and a half. And I just got kind of far behind where I couldn't commit to a gym, and commitment wasn't there, going, you know, twice a week training. And, you know, I'm at a point now to where I'm committed, dude. I love getting better at the ground. I love getting better at jiu-jitsu. I love wrestling. And I'm trying to focus on strictly training before I even get worried in the back of my head about a sanctioned fight again, because when I focus on one thing, I do better. So I told my coach this too. You know, I didn't even tell him I was fighting Street Beefs last time. I didn't want to, you know, disrespect him, nothing. At the end of the day, I am an independent fighter. At the end of the day, no matter where I'm at, and, you know, I just wanted to go have fun. And when I told him when I got back, I said, look, I think I'm really just going to take this whole year, train, get good, let all these people fight here in Arkansas around me, whatever, and just get the experience through Street Beefs, because, you know, I can probably come here. Like, I told myself last night, every 2 months I want to fight for Street Beefs. So I'm just going to do it as much as I can, man. And the reason I picked Street Beefs over the regional and everything like that is because it's easier. I ain't got to go through the process, you know. I stay up to date and all that, but still, there's no process. It's boom, show up, let's get it, let's go, and see you guys next time. Commission, you know, sometimes if I lost a certain way, they could prolong me for 90 days. That's happened to me too. So, you know, there's little, if people that fought amateur, you guys know what I'm talking about when it comes about going through the little lines like that. Street Beefs, it's so fun to just come up and show up and hang out with cool dudes, man. I met some of the coolest people I swear to God, in the West Coast. Like, some people I'll know forever, for real.
That's awesome. Follow-up question. So it's interesting. I'm glad we asked this question because it gets a little bit more of the insight for folks who may have never fought in a sanction for a sanctioned promotion before, what it's like, right? Some of the hoops that you have to go through in order to just to make it into the ring. So there has been recent talks about potentially Streetbeefs having some sanctioned fights, right? There's been some sanctioned bodies that have reached out to Scarface talking about potentially setting something like that up. What are your opinions of that? How would you feel if Streetbeefs were to become sanctioned?
That'd be cool. You know, what a great platform they already have. What an awesome step up for these guys. You know, what I saw today, they're talking about doing the bare knuckle thing. I told them I would love to do that. Holy crap, I've been telling them they should do the wraps only for a while. That's awesome, dude. That's a huge step up for Streetbeefs. It's just going to show you, like, the kind of attention these guys are truly getting. You know, and how cool is it to be a part of that? You know what I mean? And it's a small part, man. Like, I've only had one fight with them. I feel like I'm just a little tiny part, but it feels cool. It really does.
What's the fighter's name with the Twitch? Omar Jan.
Can't remember.
What? Oh, Jan Pulver.
Yeah.
Jan Pulver. Yeah, he's a big fan of Streetbeefs. He on numerous occasions he's been like, Streetbeefs is dope. Streetbeefs is cool. So yeah, like I do think it's getting notification. But I wanted to take a step back. For those who don't know what sanctioned means or sanctioned fights means, what is a sanctioned fight?
Sanctioned fight is a regional fight in your state. It could be anywhere though. You know, I've traveled Oklahoma. It's under the Arkansas, or in my case, it's under the state commission wherever you're at. You know, California, Nebraska, whatever. It's under the commission. There's going to be referees there, the head commission, step down commission. It's all going to be on paper, and you know, it's all recorded like that. Versus Streetbeefs, you know, there's no paperwork, nothing like that. But yeah, and plus, to have a sanctioned fight, you got to have all your blood work. You got to make sure, you know, you're STD free. Nothing bad that's going to be spreading blood. Got to be on top of the physicals, everything like that, and got to be accepted by the Arkansas State Commission. It's a little bit of a process, man, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah. So every state has their own commission. Fight commission. Some states don't have a commission because they've outlawed combat sports in general. So for the longest time, mixed martial arts was not sanctioned in places like New York. And it wasn't only until recently, the last couple of years, that New York has reversed that, and the commission has now sanctioned mixed martial arts fighting in the state of New York. So yeah, I mean, I think it'll be huge to really see Streetbeefs get that opportunity, because you see that not only is it structured and organized, but the level of competition that you see in Streetbeefs can easily be found in many of the amateur, promotions across the country. And again, like Tunde said, like professional folks that we look up to, UFC champions like Jens Pulver, are, already see that potential, along with so many others. So definitely, I think Streetbeefs is moving on to big things this year. So we wanted to kind of start a couple more questions for you before we let you go, Nasty Native. Let's get into talk a little bit more about what's up next for you. So you're 1-0 in boxing, and however, you are more, correct me if I'm wrong, you are more of a mixed martial artist. You like to put it all together. You touched a little bit about training jiu-jitsu. Your amateur career is in mixed martial arts. You're 1-1 as an amateur. So what is next for you? What do you want to see next in Streetbeefs?
I told them boys when I left last time, I ain't never boxing again. Came there to do MMA, my opponent, I guess he didn't show up. I don't know what happened. But I'm blessed enough to get the box that day. Almost didn't get to. Dude, my plans right now, I might be coming out the 20th if they give me a fight. I told Alex and Martin and all of them, I said, hey, look, man, if you guys can give me the opponent that I know will show, I'll go ahead and book the flight. Let's make it happen. I want to fight. I'm doing this mainly for one reason, and it's get another fight lined up, because got to have an MMA win. So, I'm trying to get this lined up for Streetbeefs in the West Coast, go represent them guys where I started, and go to the OG yard after that.
And is there a name that you have both on the West Coast and in the OG yard that you would want to challenge?
Man, everyone knows, dude, on the West Coast, me and Shinigami would be the best matchup. And he knows too. He told me personally that I would be his best challenge. And I would love that challenge. Shinigami is an awesome dude. We kicked it when we were in Vegas together. Cool dude, bro. You know, that would be a pure respect fight. Awesome test, awesome challenge. Definitely would love that. I know, you know, I haven't even fought MMA over there, so I get the proving my ground, all that. Whatever I got to do, but I would love to run it with him. But yeah, to get this MMA win in the West Coast, there's a reason, man. You know, big smile. You know, he told me I needed the MMA win. Chris, he offered me that fight, and I'm just trying to get that win, dude. So I have no excuses anywhere. I can go fight him. You know what I mean? So that's my next little goal. Hopefully, get this February 20th fight lined up. Hopefully, get that dub, and hopefully go to the OG yard and get Smile to take that fight.
Awesome.
Oh man, that's dope.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you ask me, I feel like you've already proven yourself. I mean, not like I said before, not many people come into Street Beefs with amateur experience. You have 2 amateur fights. You have your first amateur fight was a loss, and you came back and looked dominant in your first win in the amateur leagues. And so, I mean, if you're looking for more proof of what this man Nasty Native can do, go check that out. As a matter of fact, Nasty Native, tell them, where can folks find your amateur fights at?
Man, you can get on YouTube, man. Look up Cody Beck MMA. It should pop up some fights with me against this dude named Joe Massey and me against this dude named Alex Seward. They're both on there. Even got little training videos on there, something someone made me. But yeah, check those things out, man, for sure. Appreciate it if you do already. For sure, man. I told them boys in the West Coast, I'm a wrestler at heart. I was heartbroken when I couldn't do MMA, man. I really was. But I wasn't gonna go all that way, you know, not to get my hands dirty. So had to box it up a bit.
For sure. You don't want to waste time. Hey, you feel me?
So let's roll out the carpet for you right now, Nasty Native. We see that you have a promotional backdrop over there with some logos. Who do you want to give a shout out to? How can folks find you? Let the fans and the people know what to do if they want to follow Nasty Native.
I got you, dude. Check this out. Let me show these guys some love real quick. This is a Native American fighter. Got the teepee with the fish in there. Them guys are awesome. They support me. These are all my local Hot Springs guys. Biggest shout out to all of them. They know who they are, man. As far as finding me, Facebook, Cody Beck. Instagram, Cody Beck. Let's see. Snapchat, Cody Beck MMA, man. I post all my training videos. You know, I get after it every day. I'm busy. You know, I just do what I love to do, train and be happy, dude. For real. Y'all follow me, dude, for real, and keep up. Because I definitely I'll be in the Street Beefs yards very, very soon.
I like how it's very streamlined all the way through. Instagram, Cody Beck. Facebook, Cody Beck.
I know.
Cody Beck.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Cody. Thank you so much, Nasty Native. We appreciate your time, being gracious with us, and sharing a little bit more about who you are, what you fight for, and where you're going. And you're going to show us something else. No? Oh, okay. There he is. Hey.
There we go.
I paint one every time for a new fight. So this next time in February 20th, if I get it, I'll have a whole new setup. So,
hey, we excited to see it.
Sir.
Thank you so much for coming through, man.
For sure. I thank y'all for having me, man. Y'all have a good rest of Sunday. So y'all have a good one.
I really enjoyed myself. How'd you feel about that, Omar?
Yeah, man. Nasty Native is a beast in the cage, and you know, from watching some of his MMA matches in the amateurs, I'm excited to see what he can do in Street Beefs. He is a powerful wrestler and has some deadly takedowns. Looks like his jiu-jitsu is there, and can definitely potentially pull off some submissions. So I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see him come back into the yard and, you know, challenge some of the champs up there, both on the West Coast and on the East Coast. I think he has a promising future in 2021.
For sure, and I really appreciated his love for kids, his love for outreaching and giving back. You can really tell that he had a really big heart, and it's always in the fight. All right. And with that, thank you for tuning in. Hope you were able to gather some gems that you can apply to your life. If you can, just subscribe to our channel once again. If you can like our Instagram page, you see all of the stuff on the bottom. Please, if you are a fan, like all of them. And until next time, we ask that you double down and dig deep on all of your commitments. See you again.